The Battle of Marineford contains dozens of epic and heartbreaking moments.
Many fans attesting that the current arc is one of the best in the series' history.
Time travel does actually exist in the...
Chapter 1000 will be the one where most of the setting up turns into epic fights.
It's over 900 episodes long. I don't have the time is fleeting. It's the only thing we can't buy or get more of. As you get older, stuff that you want to do accumulates. Games, shows, books, work, friends, so many things to do, so little time. This is my watch list. Even though I've been watching anime all my life, I still haven't seen many OG shows for one single reason. They're too long! Gintama, One Piece, Mother Flippin' Slam Dunk. All shows that I can't get to because I have these weird things called obligations. People are always like,
I need you to make me like 17,000 videos.
Yo, Mudo, what's
They're all
up?
sitting in the
I'm gonna need that
Google
video
Drive.
by Tuesday, so
collabing again, bro.
go grab a drink.
Get your shit together, alright? Seriously.
and I like have to make and eat food? What? But am I just whining? Or is there a basis around this? Let's calculate. And by that I mean, I'm not gonna calculate cause I'm too lazy. You go calculate. Let's say you're an average Joe. 9 to 5 job. You cook food to save money since you bought one anime figurine. You sometimes go out with friends and attend birthdays. Not a complete shut-in. I'd say it's fair to say that you have around 2 hours of you time every day. How long would it take you to get through these 3 shows if you started today? Well, that's 586 hours. Or 293 days. Almost a year. Almost a whole year spending your free time and watching 3 shows. And that's on the off case that you're a loner and don't care about stuff like video games, books, learning, a healthy lifestyle, nor having the crippling need to relax from your day for 5 minutes on Reddit. And that 5 minutes turns into an hour, and you're fully aware that you're wasting your life 1 minute at a time, but hey look, a funny meme. Pull yourself together, man, or you're going in the jar with the rest of them.
More.
People's minds are shrinking. We need action. We need our brains to be constantly entertained. Just pure stuff. We don't care about long-term results. Fuck you, pension funds. I'm gonna die in the next 10 years anyway. We want the now, the immediate, 12 cool shit that just BAM and you've got your fix. What's easier, getting your friends to watch a shitty 12-episode show or telling them to watch Bleach? We all know the answer to that. Why does TikTok have 6 billion more downloads than people on Earth? Goldfish have more short-term memory than humans. Wake up, sheeple! But what's the point? And I'm not talking about life, of course, since that doesn't have any. What I mean is, what's the difference between watching a long-running show versus a short one? Well, with the immediate shows, you can complete a shit ton of them. Instead of the previously mentioned 3 shows, you could watch 117 other series with much different worlds, different genres. With a long-running show, you stay stuck in the same world. Sure, they can have different arcs where they explore other parts of the world, but that's like visiting different biomes in Minecraft. It's still the same core experience, just with a different skin laid on top. But what keeps these shows going is the huge investment that you have to put in. They create intricate worlds, so once you're in them, you can relate to everybody and feel much more invested than with other shows. But that's bound to happen. If you watch 100 live streams of me eating shit, then you will end up loving it too. You'll get to know what type of shit is my favorite. Do I like the crunchiness or the smoothness down my throat? Different ways of eating it. You'd probably buy it too once I decide that it's good enough to sell. And for only 30 bucks, you can also taste my shit. I mean, a man's got to make a living, right? The thing is, just because a show lasts for a long time doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. You can have a 100 episode show be worse than a 12 episode one with less stuff happening, but just because there's more time spent with it, by default, you start thinking more about it. Doesn't matter if the same stuff happens or you don't even learn anything new. And I'm not even talking about filler episodes because those can have value. I'm just talking about poor writing. And this is the $1 million question. What if you start a long-running show and don't like it? Should you just stick with it since it'll get better? But will it? People are dumb and scores get pulled out of people's asses. You never know if a show will actually get good later on, or people are just being manipulated by the sunk cost fallacy. Personally, I've tried to get into Gintama multiple times. Didn't really like the first episode, but thought that the majority can't be wrong. It has to be good. Watched 3 more episodes. Still not a fan. kept watching until 10 episodes in, and still didn't like it. What now? I've spent over 4 hours watching it, longer than it takes to watch 2 feature-length films. Should I sink even more time into it, or cut my losses and watch something I know I'd enjoy? But do you know what's worse than watching a bad long-running show? Yeah, being black in America, being discriminated against, having shoddy healthcare, not having any clean drinking water, being poor. Okay, there are tons of things worse. But, as a privileged white male living in Europe, what's worse than starting a long-running show? When you're watching a long-running show weekly as it is, and you stop. I watched Bleach weekly up to the final season until I got bored and quit. What a dumb mistake. I didn't know it was going to end, otherwise I would have kept on watching it. But when I heard it ended a couple of years later, it was already too late. Will I remember the key elements of the characters? Can I actually relate to the ending now, or will I just watch it for the sake of being a completionist? I don't want to watch something that I can't remember anything about. If even the Netflix recaps don't help me remember a show that I watched a year ago and loved, what about the 300 episode show that I watched 6 years ago? Should I watch it from the start? But that means watching 320 episodes to watch 30 episodes. Not to mention that I'm pampered with full HD Blu-ray quality now. How would someone go back to a shitty 4:3 aspect ratio with a quality that would look good only if you watch it from your phone that's taped to the wall on the other side of the room? Hell yeah! And an even bigger question. If I were to rewatch a show, or god forbid, start a new show from the beginning, what do I do in the case of fillers? Am I a completionist? Will I feel empty missing that garbage and only go for the main plot? Or are side quests important? Boy, I sure can't wait to do fetch quests for 20 hours. Sure, Naruto has a really in-depth documentation of fillers, but what about other shows? And you only know about fillers when binging. Imagine watching it weekly and just having 4 months of only fillers. Literally a season of nothing related to the story, and it's all because you just caught up to the manga and had no idea how to proceed. Long-running shows are notorious to drag on, even if dealing with canonical episodes. I mean, you decide. Do you want to see this? Or this? So, if you watch long-running shows weekly, then you could get interrupted by filler arcs and you'd be screwed. But if you were to binge it, then you'd be sinking a ton of time into it, which you don't have unless you're a kid. So you'll say that you'll watch it at some point, but it'll just end up in your watch list limbo. So, to get an answer to this complex anime conundrum, I've inputted all of the data into the supercomputer, and I'm going to get the answer. Fuck yeah.